everyone, happy Friday. Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Sophia, and for all of my returning watchers, thanks so much for popping back on. Today we have a little video on layering because we are all feeling that transitional bend in the weather from our summer clothes to our autumn clothes, and I know that I have been layering a whole bunch since I've gotten to London. So I just wanted to share some of my tips and tricks on what I do when I'm layering, and hopefully you all can take them into your daily dressing styles. But let's roll the intro and then we'll get right into this little bit on layering. Okay, so let's talk about layering from the start. So layering has been going on for like the longest time. And we don't actually see people layering in fashion in the very beginning for warmth. It was more to build silhouettes, okay? People were trying to build different shapes with their clothes, and honestly, the way to create that was just packing more on. We also see this a lot in the military, in the early like World War, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, that's not why we're here. We're not here to talk about the history of it, but it's a little backscope, okay? Layering is great to keep you warm, especially when we are doing this warm to cold to cold to warm that we've all been experiencing lately. But it's also just a fun way to play with your clothes, and that's kind of what I'm here to talk about, because layering is a really key essential bit to styling. When I think about layering something, I want it to look cohesive, I want it to look finished, I want it to look blended. And so I'm just going to talk about some of my little bits that I like to use for layering, and then we'll just roll into some examples, okay? So my little first bit that I look when I'm layering is that if something has a collar, it's an automatic let's layer it for me. Specifically, like this dress has a little collar, and that's going to be really fun for putting either a cardigan under, a blazer, or a blazer and a cardigan, a necklace, a bow, a something, just to kind of make this a little bit more, okay? I'm all about the bells and whistles around here. Sometimes I put a little too much on before I go back and I take stuff off. And something has a collar, either a blouse, a dress, a jumper, you're gonna be able to layer with that cohesiveness that I like. My second little bit, especially when it's those cooler days that we've been talking about, are tights. I'm a big fan of a fun tight, okay? I have lots of different colors. I would like to invest in some pattern ones, either some polka dots or a cool print, and I think that's something that's really fun to do underneath your dresses or your skirts, because it's dimensional and it adds a little bit of fun to your outfit, but two, it's also working and keeping you warm. I have been doing the socks over my tights when I wear my kitten heels. One, it prevents blistering when I'm commuting, and two, it's just another layer of my personality and my little creative dressing on top that everybody gets to see, and I think that's really fun. Cardigans and sweaters are just super great pieces. We'll just call it outerwear. Blazers are really great to have in your closet. I try to keep these in solid colors when I'm thinking about layering. When I was packing to come to London, I was like, how am I going to condense my plethora of sweaters into, you know, a handful? And I think it's kind of great to have options. I do try to keep these in a solid. However, this season we are seeing a lot of animal print and polka dots and just print in general, and so I could see myself expanding my cardigan section and maybe my blazers, because most of my blazers are a solid or a neutral, and I think if we layer with something fun and funky, I think a pattern mixing moment is really cool and can really elevate your look. So that's another little bit that I look for. And honestly, it's all about what makes it have a little bit of something, a little bit of flair. So honestly, sometimes we feel like once we get to that base layer, we shouldn't put anything else on our clothes, whether that be you get your blazer and you don't really want to put a jacket over your blazer, or if you have a cardigan and you're feeling like that's enough. I just feel like sometimes a little bit more, just a little extra flair to just really round out the outfit. And we'll show some visual examples of that in a little bit, but that was just like kind of a quick run through of layering. I don't know about you, but especially living in a big city like London or New York, you're commuting a lot, and the functionality of layering is extremely important because I sweat like a man. I do, and I get so hot, especially when you're down waiting for the tube. It's like you're like a little baked potato just cooking down there. So layering is super great for transitional weather, for building a cool funky outfit, but also not like roasting to death on your commute, because you can easily pop on and off pieces. It also makes the day to night transition really easy, because if you have something that you think you can wear either to a dinner or an event afterwards, but you need to make it a little more daytime accessible, you can layer it up a different way. And I think that's really, really cool. So that's my little bit on layering. I think it's time to run through some examples. I'll kind of yap at you through those, and you let me know your layering thoughts. What are you layering? Are you guys layering already? Are you still having sunshine weather? It's September 20th. Does that mean it's still hot at home? Probably. But let's go ahead. Let's jump into some examples and get into it. So I've never done a video where I like actually talk you through my dressing process, so this is going to be a first one for all of us. Also, I'm still figuring out the lighting and the angling with my new tripod, so like I apologize if this gets a little funky, but here we are. So this is my base layer, right? I just have on this beautiful Sister Jane dress. I have my collar available. I don't have any layers on. I just have my little shoes and a headband on. So if I were to wear this out, especially here in London, and it's getting cooler, right? Yesterday I wore this outfit and I'm still obsessed with it. I think a pattern on pattern is quite funky and fun. So I'm going to go ahead and add this little vintage layer to it. And something that I think we can all start to look for is like funky. Okay, I want us to start being funky, okay? Let's just be cool. Don't think dressing is fun. So I have on my little sheep sweater. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pop this out, okay? This now makes it look like I have a bow skirt, which I'm obsessed with, because we're automatically doubling my wardrobe now, because I can wear this as a skirt and a dress. So I think this just really looks fun together. And like I said, I love a collar because we can go ahead and we can add a little bit more. So this is my new little tip for adding bows underneath your collars, because we all know I love a pussy bow, right? I love it. I love it. So I make sure I button myself all the way up to the top. Oh my goodness. And then I've been taking my hair barrettes, you know, my big hair bows, and I just simply pop them through the collar and give it a clip. And that just totally spices up my outfit in a totally different way. I think it's super fun, super funky, and that's how we can layer with the collar. So let's look at some tights and some socks on an example, and then maybe run through some cardigans. What do we think? Would you wear it? Darling. So now we're going to move into kind of our cardigan layering process. Again, I'm in my same black and white bow dress, and I think I'm just going to use this as my base layer for these examples. So let's talk about cardigans, because cardigans are something that I absolutely adore. And like I said, this was really hard for me to pare down. I have quite the extensive cardigan collection. But let's talk about where we're buying cardigans. I have three main places that I really love to shop for cardigans. One is rather new, but I'm obsessed with the quality and just how soft they are. It's Unique Glow. I love the quality of their cardigans, and they're just so soft. My second spot is going to be J. Crew. We love a J. Crew cardigan. They wear really well, lovely quality, and they're typically on the warmer side of things. So when I need something in my closet that I know is going to be thicker, a little heavier, I'm thinking about a J. Crew cardigan. But if we're balling on a budget, let's talk about the Target ones, because let me tell you, she's been in my closet. This is a new day one. She's been in my closet for forever, and she's still getting the job done. So I think you can layer your cardigans in several different ways. One, traditional, you just slap her on, leave her wide open, easy peasy, pop your collar. Two, we can button her up all the way. Again, we're gonna have that two different looks where you can kind of get that similar style that we were getting with our little sheep sweater, or you can do your sweater to the back. Don't be afraid to put something on backwards, because then you get the button effect in the back. I think that's quite clever, and honestly, I kind of like it. But for this example, let's go ahead, we'll use the yellow one. Let's just go ahead and slide it on like a regular girl. So I do truly have too many cardigans, but that's okay because you can never really have too many cardigans. But let's go ahead and get her on. Another thing to consider when you're buying a cardigan is where your sleeves are hitting. I have several cardigans that are going to be specifically 3/4 length, and that's really great and dandy. She's not the best for layering. It's fine if she's the base layer, but if she's not, it's gonna feel funky because you're gonna have something ending here and something going down the way. So I always look at where that ends. So I have this popped out, and already, like, that's just such a cute little pop of color with the black and white. I tend to always roll my sleeve just because they always hit a little bit longer on me. We're gonna go ahead and button top layer. I'm just kind of taking you through my like dressing process. I don't know. Do you think this is fun? Like this. And so that kind of already makes a shape with the collar that I think is really unique, but I'm not done yet. So I want to put something on top of this, and I love color. And one thing about me is that yellow and pink are my favorite colors. So let's go ahead and put this over top of it. Now, this kind of gets covered then by the blazer. So let's go ahead and button this all together. And then look at this fun, quirky look that we've made. And then I have so many layers. I'm gonna do one warm, and then I've quadrupled the looks in my closet because no one knows that this is a dress. Get us all lined up. It looks like we've got a fun skirt on. I've got my little pop of color for my cardigan, and then I've got my amazing pink blazer on top. And I think we should be going for those fun, kind of crazy color combinations because it just makes you feel cool. So obviously this outfit's missing something. We need something under the collar. So let's pop a necklace on. To pull into that black and white, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go for this bold vintage, fun, chunky necklace. And I like to just slide that underneath the collar. It kind of then hides that break from the cardigan and the dress, and like that's a cool outfit, right? Like she's very warm. I've got my layers on, and then if I'm too hot on the tube, guess what? Pop this off, and then I have still a very cute, very chic outfit that I can wear totally a different way. Let's show you tights and socks. Alrighty, our third and final little fit. I have my little hot pink tights on. I think base layer tights are just the best way, especially when the transition is seasonal. When we're in that seasonal transition, I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Oh my gosh, do you ever like struggle to get tights where they need to be? You gotta do that like magic little like ballerina like, whoo. Okay, anyways, my hot pink tights on. I love a solid tight, but I am thinking about expanding my tights into some fun funky patterns. Right now on the market, we've got like really cool tights, okay? So I'm not super big into the cutout tights. I think that tight on, but if that's your vibe, go for it. So if I do a solid, I always do a funky print on the sock. So these are like my go-to socks for layering because I think they're so cute. I love a higher sock. This has got purple polka dots on them, so we're gonna slap these on here. And like I said, so like this is more catered to like my personal style. Like obviously, I know you guys probably would be like pink and purple on the same thing. What are we doing? You can do this with a neutral, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be super crazy. You can do this and still make it you. So go. See super cute. So obviously, I'm thinking I would probably want to do this with something more where you can see it, but it's okay. And then let's go for these babes. So these are just my new little kitten heels from Target. We've got our metallic heels very in this season, but honestly, I think that's kind of fun. Even if I were to wear this with a longer dress and you don't necessarily see the pink, even just the pattern on pattern mixing, quite a fun vibe. And then, I mean, I don't know, if you were to give a twirl and you were to see it, I think it's kind of cute. So those are my little bits and bobs on layering. Different style filming here. But I'm a little rusty. We're getting back into it, but let me know what you think. Everyone, I'm gonna let you go. Have a happy Friday. Layer your outfits today. Send me a picture of what we're layering. And like I said, it doesn't have to be crazy eccentric pattern mixing and bold colors if we're not quite there yet. Ease into it. Tell me what your fashion is. Tell me what your personal style is, and make it you, because you just gotta wear something that makes you happy. Anyways, do something that makes you happy today. Wear something that makes you happy today, and I'll catch you all next Friday. I love you lots. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye.